question, I just want to ask you if may any experiences ba kayo na naranasan yung parang naging unfair yung judgment sa inyo or like kunwari, um, ako nakasira ako ng ano, ng something pero yung nasisi dun yung kapatid ko. So that would be unfair for my brother. So ayun, sometimes it happens. So if you have any experiences like that, pa-share naman sa chat box para ano, ayun, just so you can know. So, ayun, sabi ni Kuya Glenn, hindi naman ako yung umubos ng ulam, pero ikaw yung nasisi. Ang unfair, di ba? Ay, si Kuya Bam din nakaka-relate. So, ayun. Um, I want to share with you one example of this unfair situation that I had, that I didn't have, but someone had, and I'm going to tell you about it. So, ayun nga, my girl one day, and parang noon, um, napansin niya yung mga kaklase niya, ang lupit mangodigo, parang lahat na lang sila nag-cheat maliban sa kanya. So parang nasa isip-isipan niya, sige, if they're all going to do it, I might as well, ako na lang, ano, mag-cheat na lang din ako. Kasi if they can do it and they're not going to get found out, why don't I do it as well? Parang nagmamakahirap pa ako dito mag-aral. 'Di ba? So ayun, let me tell you, it did not end well. So the girl was immediately found out after the first time that she cheated, and it got to the point na kailangan niya mag-sorry sa buong school. And like syempre nakakahiya ka na, like nakakahiya na mag-proceed kasi if you were that girl, kilala ka na ng buong school bilang nangongodigo. Parang ano, and that girl had to transfer schools nga because like how can you possibly go on with that kind of reputation? Um so it's unfair. It was unfair to the girl. I'm not saying that hindi dapat na parusahan yung girl, pero how come the girl who cheated only once was received such a severe punishment when her classmates who did it multiple times um they didn't they didn't get punished at all. How were they able to get away scot free? So parang nakaka-frustrate talaga eh. And um currently in our country, I feel that some of us can relate to feeling frustrated at the injustices happening. So ayun, um because of that, I just want to remind you with our main verse for tonight, which can be found in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 17, NLT. So I'll read it out for you guys. I said to myself, in due season, God will judge everyone, both good and bad, for all their deeds. So, a little context dito. Um, Ecclesiastes was written by Solomon, and as you know, King Solomon was a very, very wise man. So, um, this is a, I think this is one of the profound truths that we can glean from Ecclesiastes. So, ayun, before this verse, like in the first two verses preceding this one, Solomon was saying how parang kahit ba naman sa court walang justice, kung saan ina-expect mo may justice, wala. Pero ayun, I just want to reassure you that our God is a just God. So ayun, um yung mga corruption and other unjust things that are going unpunished right now. Especially considering ano, especially regarding our government leaders. Sometimes like parang may na-expose na itong government official ay meron palang criminal record na ganito, meron palang ganawang ganyan na hindi mabuti. But nothing is being done about it. Like hindi sila napopunish or so. Um Parang it's really frustrating, and sometimes all we want to do is to go out and rant about it on social media, or um we want, sometimes nga it brings us to the point of cussing them out, like with so many vulgar words and such. But um I want to remind you that they are still authorities, and that we should still respect them, because sabi nga sa Bible, um eto nga sa Titus 3:1-2, remind the believers to submit to the government and its officers. They should be obedient, always ready to do what is good. They must not slander anyone and must avoid quarreling. Instead, they should be gentle and show true humility to everyone. So, ayan, there are many other verses in the Bible that tell us that it's necessary to obey and to submit to our government authorities, no matter how frustrating it makes us feel. Like, ayun, because it's a reminder that parang it's a humbling reminder um that we have to submit, because God put these government authorities there, and to not follow them is almost saying that you don't want to follow God's authority as well. So, ayun, I want to remind us then na um I want to emphasize then the word everyone here in this verse. Uh, God will judge everyone, both good and bad, for all their deeds. So yes, we can take comfort in the fact that those who are not being punished right now, parang hindi naman bulag si God dun. We can be assured that God sees them as well. Pero we should also be careful to with how we act in these situations, because both good and bad nga daw maja-judge. So, kung i-relate ko to sa cancel culture, lahat naman tayo may kasalanan. Parang he who is um he who is without sin, he should cast the first stone. Eh, lahat naman tayo may sin. And lahat naman tayo magiging accountable kay God. So, um, ayun lang naman. So, I'm not saying it's wrong to point out the mistakes of our government authorities, but let's also say it in a loving and gentle way, because sabi nga din sa First Peter that you should always be ready to tell the truth in love, and that applies to, even in our eyes, some of the worst criminals. So I think that the right way that we should approach them is to pray for them. We're not going to pray against them, but we should pray for them, because that's how we will show our care. And God also tells us to love our neighbors, no matter how much you don't want to, but you have to, because we are God's servants and we are called to obey.